Imagine discovering, just seconds ago, that a leaked video shows your favorite actor being tortured before his death. You pause. You stare. How could footage like that exist? And more importantly, who is behind it, and will justice ever come? In this video, you'll witness the shocking footage that's shaking China and rattling US politics. We'll dive into how American forces are stepping in, why that matters, and what it all reveals about power, censorship, and truth. Stay with me, because every twist will twist your mind. A ripple of horror spread across the internet when whispers turned into menacing visuals. A dark web video allegedly depicting Yu Menglong, a beloved Chinese actor, being tortured, mutilated, and thrown from a building. The footage, forbidden and brutal, exploded across hidden corners of the web and forced a question nobody could silence. What really happened to him? Now, the United States isn't sitting on the sidelines. Washington is reportedly investigating, pressuring platforms to remove the content, coordinating with international agencies, and stepping into a blazing storm of outrage. In this video, we break down every detail: the leaked footage, the names fingered in the case, the autopsy leaks, the official denials, and the bold move America is making. You'll see the grisly content that was suppressed, how forensic voices and whistleblowers are pushing the story, what the US is doing behind closed doors, the dangers and stakes for you, the viewer, and exactly what questions we must demand answers for. Get your eyes wide. Because this is no ordinary celebrity mystery. This is a fight over censorship, power, and global ethics. From the moment the first whispers surfaced, did you fall? Was he pushed? Was he tortured? The internet ignited. On September 11, 2025, news broke that Yu Menglong had died after falling from a building in Beijing. The official version: intoxication, accident, no foul play. But beneath that version lay an alternate story so dark it would force nations to take sides. Very quickly, a torrent of rumors, deleted screenshots, and hidden files flooded social media. A now-deleted Weibo post allegedly confessed, "Yes, I killed Yu Menglong." Screenshots preserved the line. An audio file, analyzed by independent teams, was said to match the voice of Fan Shiqi at a 99.57% confidence rate, captured shouting, "Spit it out. Hurry." Then a more horrifying leak. A video from the dark web claimed to show torture, genital wounds, fractures, and ultimately, Yu being thrown. One insider said it was hacked from actress Song Eran's phone. The scene allegedly includes Yu's pet being slaughtered before his eyes. Autopsy details, never officially confirmed, leaked pieces of a portrait you almost dare not imagine: internal bleeding, broken ribs, blunt trauma inconsistent with a simple fall, injuries to private areas, and contusions across the body. Some forensic experts and netizens argue these injuries could not result from a fall, but from violence before death. Every new leak stoked a massive fire of suspicion. The public began calling it not a death, but a murder. A cover-up. A scandal buried by state power. Then came the counterattack: censorship, deletion waves, and digital darkouts. More than 100,000 posts were scrubbed, over 1,000 accounts closed, comment sections disabled on 15,000 accounts. Even platforms inside China reportedly joined in silencing speculation. Meanwhile, netizens responded with guerrilla tactics. In the dead of night, users would post cryptic messages, small bursts of dissent, images of Yu's face, questions left hanging in dying comment threads. Memes spread, a slogan was born: "Truth will not die." And then the world beyond China began to click. In a dramatic move, campaigners abroad pushed for Yu's face and voice to be shown on Times Square, New York. The idea: broadcast the story so loud in a body that no one can delete its memory. Signatures poured in. Global forums joined the chant, "Justice for Yu." Enter the United States. With the video in circulation and American eyes watching, federal agencies reportedly began covert tracking, requests to content platforms, pressure on servers, coordination with international investigators. Some sources claim this case now has a place on U.S. digital crime logs. U.S. congressional staffers are said to be reviewing the matter under human rights and free expression bills. Tech platforms could be asked to hand over metadata, IP trails, and source access. At its core, America is being drawn into an explosive collision of entertainment, censorship, and power. To them, it's not just about one actor, it's about setting precedent. Can democracies push back when a regime tries to erase a body of evidence from memory? Now travel with me into a mind-blowing reconstructed scene, based on leaks, internal testimonies, and digital forensics. It begins late at night, a gathering in a high-rise apartment in Chaoyang, Beijing. Some say 6 people were there, others insist 17. Yu arrives, calm but wary. He carries a USB drive. He laughs, shakes hands. The mood is cordial. But then someone says, "Let's have a drink." He refuses. That's where intensity grows. Suddenly, someone pulls his arm. He says, "Don't." In the cramped room, the lights flicker. Then a shot, a hand claps over his mouth. His dog, Fuli, growls from behind. Someone drags him. Someone else screams. Bruises, punches. He is shoved onto a couch, arms pinned. One person yells, "Spit it out now." Another yells, "We know he's hiding something." A figure looms. A device presses near his stomach. He gasps. A knife. A scalpel. The interior sounds distorted, metal on flesh. Doors shut. Phones record. Music is drowned out. Someone cries, "I didn't mean to." His voice cracks, "Help me." Someone, Fan Shiqi, "Help me." One final scream, muffled, as he is pushed. A shadowed figure drags him to the window. He tears at mesh wire. He is thrown. The fall lasts for seconds that last forever. Medical examiners later find shredded flesh, a broken nose, dental fractures, multiple broken ribs, a ruptured internal organ, and wounds incongruent with a simple fall. The autopsy rumors claimed genital injuries, blunt trauma inconsistent with an impact descent. A USB drive is later found near his body. Insiders claim it had damning files, money laundering, links to powerful figures, hush money exchanges, dark secrets. Sources say the pet dog was killed, the killers wanted to seal his mouth. Then the silence. The body removed. The statement issued. The narrative shaped. The video locked down. The platforms told to delete. That's the horror behind what the US is now trying to unmask. So what is America actually doing? The moves are subtle and high stakes. 1. Digital trawl. US agencies reportedly flagged servers, investigated hosting providers, asked for video takedown requests, and traced IP routes to identify origin. 2. Platform pressure. Major video and social platforms were approached to remove copies, hand over logs, and cooperate with inquiries into content provenance. 3. Forensic collaboration. The US is said to be coordinating with international forensic and human rights organizations to validate leaked audio and video, cross-compare metadata, and confirm authenticity. 4. Diplomatic signaling. Through quiet channels, Washington's pressure against censorship regimes is intensified, using cases like this to demand transparency and freedom of information. 5. Legislative attention. Some U.S. lawmakers are said to raise the issue in human rights committees, citing that an actor tortured to death, and the suppression of evidence, is a matter of global concern. The stakes. If the U.S. helps set a precedent that digital crimes, even state-hidden atrocities, can be tracked, exposed, and contested, it shifts the terrain for authoritarian censorship globally. Why should you care? Because this is not just a Chinese tragedy. This is about who controls truth. About whether a regime can murder someone and whisper, "Nothing to see here," and expect the world to forget. About whether hidden atrocities can be banished behind censorship walls, or whether evidence will breathe life again through digital memory. Every time a video is deleted, every time content is scrubbed, every time platforms comply, we lose a bit more grip on what really happened. If we stay silent, the landscape of truth becomes murky. By watching, sharing, demanding answers, you become a node in the fight, not just for one actor, but for the right to know. As investigations deepen, here are the burning questions that must be answered. Who filmed the dark video? Who leaked it, and under whose direction? Are the leaked autopsy documents genuine or fabricated? Who else attended that fatal night, and which names have been shielded? What was on the USB drive? And how powerful were the interests seeking to bury it? Did Chinese authorities actively suppress prosecution, or were they complicit? Can American and international institutions legally intervene in such digital human rights violations? And ultimately, does the truth survive censorship, and how many times must we bring it back from the abyss? We are in a moment when social media, global outrage, and tech leverage can bend power. Yu's death is tragic. But his story, or what we can salvage of it, could ignite a turning tide in how we confront secrecy, control, and the violence masked by silence. The moment the video surfaced online, chaos ignited across every digital platform. It wasn't just a clip, it was a visual confession, a haunting mirror that forced the world to see what so many had whispered in fear. Within hours, hashtags like #JusticeForYu Menglong and #TruthBehindThe video were trending globally. Millions were glued to their screens, gasping, crying, furious. But deep beneath the online frenzy, something bigger was stirring. The US government was quietly moving. Inside a secure intelligence briefing room in Washington, D.C., senior cybersecurity officials watched the leaked video in complete silence. The tension was suffocating. The footage was pixelated, the lighting dim, but what it showed was unmistakable: a terrified Yu Menglong bound, beaten, and begging for his life. The agents exchanged looks, disbelief painted across their faces. One of them muttered, "If this is real, this isn't just a murder. This is a message." And that's when the order came: track it. Every source, every signal, every uploader. Across oceans, American cyber units began tracing the video's digital fingerprints, IP routes, metadata trails, cloud backups, even deleted cache fragments from private devices. What they uncovered was chilling. The video didn't originate from random hackers. It came from a heavily encrypted Chinese server, routed through several ghost networks, before surfacing on the dark web. Someone wanted the world to see it, but not trace it. Yet, the more they dug, the more impossible coincidences emerged. The server was linked to a former Chinese tech executive who fled to Los Angeles in 2023, reportedly under FBI protection. He had been warning for years about hidden footage of high-profile figures used as blackmail material inside China. Was this one of those tapes? Or was it part of something even more sinister? Then came the real shocker: the US Embassy in Beijing received an anonymous package. Inside was a USB drive containing what appeared to be the full, unedited version of the viral clip. The sender: unidentified. The delivery location: a public mailbox near Chaoyang District, the very place where Yu Menglong died. When US analysts opened the drive, they found timestamps, original audio, and background voices that weren't in the viral version. And one of those voices, faint but unmistakable, allegedly matched a well-known Chinese entertainment executive whose influence stretched far beyond film. Suddenly, it all connected. The brutal video wasn't just about Yu's death. It was evidence of a network, a ring of power, money, and silence that reached terrifyingly high. But while the Americans analyzed the footage behind closed doors, the internet was burning. TikTok and X, formerly Twitter, tried to suppress the clip, citing graphic content, but that only made it spread faster. Millions reposted, reshared, re-uploaded. Creators began decoding every frame, freeze-framing Yu's trembling eyes, enhancing the muffled background sounds, even slowing down the audio to identify hidden voices. One creator claimed they heard Yu whisper, "This isn't an accident. They're making it look like one." That single line became the global turning point. Meanwhile, in China, silence tightened. Posts vanished seconds after upload. Accounts were deleted mid-livestream. A handful of Chinese doctors who'd allegedly seen Yu's body vanished from public view. 2 journalists who wrote about inconsistencies in the police report were detained for spreading misinformation. Yet, the silence only amplified suspicion, and America was watching closely. A week later, Washington officially announced it was reviewing the authenticity of materials connected to Yu Menglong's death as part of a wider digital human rights investigation. It was subtle, but powerful. It meant the US was now involved. According to insiders, the Department of Justice and the State Department's Global Human Rights Division began reaching out to allies, asking for cooperation. Cloud storage providers were subpoenaed. A shadow task force nicknamed Echo Project was reportedly formed to collect testimonies and track the leak's origin. The goal? To expose whoever created, shared, and later suppressed the horrifying video. Then came the moment that sent chills across the entertainment industry. During a United Nations summit in New York, an independent activist group projected Yu Menglong's face across a massive digital billboard near Times Square. Underneath it, bold white letters read, "Truth cannot be erased." Passers-by stopped in shock. Tourists filmed. Reporters rushed to capture the moment. Within hours, the clip went viral. And that same night, an official from the US Department of State tweeted, "Censorship cannot bury humanity. We are watching. We are acting." That single tweet set the internet ablaze. China's foreign ministry fired back immediately, condemning it as foreign interference. But by then, it was too late. The global audience had chosen a side, and it wasn't the one silencing questions. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, investigators made a breakthrough. Digital forensic experts discovered fragments of an internal security log from the apartment building where Yu was last seen. The logs were supposed to reset every 72 hours, but one tiny corrupted backup survived. It revealed that security cameras had been manually disabled 20 minutes before Yu's fatal fall. The command to disable them came from a device registered to an entertainment agency executive. That piece of evidence changed everything. For the first time, US intelligence publicly hinted that the video might depict a premeditated act, not an accident. Pressure mounted on Beijing to reopen the investigation, but authorities refused, calling it foreign manipulation. Still, American officials didn't back down. According to leaked internal memos, Washington considered imposing sanctions on individuals linked to digital suppression and human rights violations tied to Yu's death. And just when it seemed things couldn't get darker, a second clip emerged. Shorter. Grainier. But different. It appeared to show Yu alive but terrified, sitting in a dimly lit room, whispering into a camera, "If you're watching this, it means they found me." The internet froze. Was it real? Or was someone playing an even deadlier game? Experts compared the voice with verified recordings, and the match percentage was 96%. Authentic or not, it reignited the fire. The US doubled down. Platforms were instructed not only to remove the torture footage but also to preserve metadata copies for investigation. The world was witnessing something bigger than a celebrity death, a battle for digital truth. And as the storm grows, one haunting question echoes across continents. Who leaked the original video? Was it a whistleblower seeking justice, or someone inside the system sending a warning? Because the moment that footage appeared online, the world saw not just Yu Menglong's pain, but the fragile line between truth and control. If you've watched this far, you can feel it, the mystery, the fear, the global tension. This isn't over. America's involvement means the story is now international. And if that full video truly exposes what we think it does, then the fallout could reshape everything we know about entertainment, censorship, and global power. So what do you think really happened to Yu Menglong? Was it a calculated murder? A warning to others in the industry? Or could there be something even deeper, something the world still hasn't uncovered? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading and featuring the most powerful ones in my next video. And if you want the next shocking update before anyone else, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a single twist in this unbelievable story. Because trust me, the next part might just be the one that blows everything wide open.